Good morning, everyone!
Hello, hello, I'm Paolo del Rosario. Ho, 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 we're almost there. Christmas Day is tomorrow. But before that, let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
Hello there, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Well, let me say, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Let's start the day right with laughter, good holiday vibes, and big energy.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. Unfortunately, I won't be singing for you guys this morning, only Anne. We're here to bring you more fun to your mornings. Join us in the next hour for stories and conversations that matter.
The Kingdom, an entry in this year's Metro Manila Film Festival. Now, this film explores an alternate timeline, a modern Philippines that was not colonized and is ruled by a powerful monarchy, the Kingdom of Kalayaan. Now, and it features a stellar cast led by MMFF Box Office King, Vic Sotto, and the ultimate heartthrob, Papa P, Piolo Pascual. Now, joining us here right now is the Kingdom Director Michael Tuviera, live via Zoom. It's a beautiful day, Direct Mike. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It certainly is a beautiful day. Good morning to everybody.
Now, Direct, first off, grabe, we've seen historical epics. We haven't really seen alternate history epics, especially here in the Philippines. Paano ito nagsimula? Where did this idea germinate from?
Actually, it came from a very, very simple idea, simple observation that I had, that when you look at Philippine politics, especially in the rural areas, we still operate in a very almost feudal system, wherein generations of a single family can maintain control over a territory, over a province, a town, a city. And I said, oh, it's very interesting the way our politics, our local politics work. So I said, what if we blow that up to the whole country? What if a single family or single entity controlled the whole country? Oh, what if the Philippines was a monarchy instead of a democracy? So dun nag-umpisa yun. Then it kind of grew from that.
Direct, grabe yung research that you did before you even started making this movie. You did a whole lot of research. You tapped into several agencies just to, get the right information about yung timeline, diba? And I read somewhere that you even have this parang historical Bible that you made the actors read.
That's right. When we started staffing up, because a lot of the preparation, the work was done by the creative team, the production team, and then every time, if you were going to join the staff or the crew of the Kingdom, you would need to go through the Bible. So there's a Bible in terms of a primer of what society was like then, how the Kingdom worked, what our language was. We even have a whole Bible on the tattoos. Yeah. That we have people wear and we have several pages on just bossing tattoos, because it took 4 hours every shooting day to put on his tattoos. So all of that is documented. So for example, our tattoos are not random. There's a reason why certain patterns are done, certain parts of the body, especially with the Lakan, the king. His whole body is filled, and there's a reason for that. So there was a lot of research, because we really wanted to be as honest as possible to what this alternative Philippines would look like.
Direct, now that you've mentioned Lakan, the king, Vic Sotto takes center stage in this film, right? As Lakan Makisig. Now, this is not the first time you've directed Vic Sotto. You've done a lot of projects already with him, but this is, I believe, his first time to do this kind of genre, yung medyo straight drama. And I also read an interview where he said na-challenge siyang i-memorize yung mga lines dahil matalinghaga yung wika na ginamit dito sa pelikulang ito. So, what can you tell us about his character, and how are you able to convince him to take this role? Anong klaseng Vic Sotto ang makikita namin dito sa pelikulang ito?
I was pleasantly shocked that he was so game to do this, because both of us, our last film was 2019, so it was 5 years ago. It was the same film, Mission Unstoppable. So that was the last time I directed a big film on the big screen, and that was the last time he acted in a movie. And then I had the idea, and I told my producers, if Vic Sotto says no, then we don't have a film. If Vic Sotto says no, then we all have the rest of the year to relax. We have Christmas and all that. We will not have a film. I said I won't push through if he says no. So I went. He asked me to his house, and then we had the dinner, and then kinuwento ko sa kanya. I started telling him about the concept, and I was nervous. I said, "Oh, any moment now, he's just gonna say, nah, this is." After 5 years, like, I'm gonna go back to probably the hardest role I've ever done. So I was ready for him to just say no. He never said no. He never said yes either. He just started asking so many questions.
Okay.
So I think, I read between the lines, oh no, he's in. So by the end of the dinner, he committed and said, okay, tara, direct, let's do this.
Direct, it amazes me how much research you guys did with this film, and I'm so excited to actually watch it. But I'm just so curious, are there any real-life historical figures that actually inspired Lakan Makisig?
We actually did a combination of several historical figures, but we did not want it to feel like a period piece.
Yeah.
It's not biographical or anything like that. So we borrowed events and aspects of other people just to make it feel realistic and genuine. But no, we really created the character of Lakan Makisig for Vic Sotto and for this film. So at the end of the day, because it's never really been done. So even historical figures in the history of the Philippines has never gone through a monarchy in the present day. So we really had to kind of use imagination on how that would work in the current settings of the Philippines. So so it's very, very much original in terms of the characters, the family, the royal family, the supporting characters around Bossing. All of that is fictional, but all of them we really try to make them as realistic and genuine as possible.
Direk, this is an ambitious project, and I'm sure you have ambitious cast members as well. Kasi grabe, all-star cast talaga. Piolo Pascual, Cristina Reyes, Sue Ramirez, Sid Lucero. Can you tell us a bit about yung why you selected them? Why were they chosen for their respective roles? And of course, how much did they help in this creative process? Kasi there's a lot of imagination involved, sabi mo nga, in creating this whole process. So what did they bring? What dynamic did you find with this group?
I was very, very lucky. I have to say, I have to thank my producers for this and our casting director. I was very spoiled in this film. I got everybody I wanted. So that's very rare for a director. But for me, it's very, very simple. When we write the script and the script is done, I have this movie in my head. And all I try to do is just replicate the movie in my head. And these actors were the only ones that I was thinking of for these roles. And they were very, very helpful. Everyone had such passion for the project, and everyone kind of chimed in and put in a lot of input also. For example, like with Christine, the way her character would move, even the way she would stand, parang she was the one who kind of came up with all of these mannerisms and stuff. Si Sid was so fun to work with because his character of Bagwis is always very angry. He's very short-tempered. And si Sid is such a chill guy, completely opposite of that. So, he had all of these little touches that he would do. Si Sue she had a brilliant idea from the beginning of the film because we would talk about Luwalhati, who's the youngest of Lakan Makisig's children. Siya yung pinaka-spoiled. And she's been very much sheltered. Siya yung favorite ng tatay niya. And then we were talking about it. We were talking. And then out of nowhere, she just said, oh, she's basically like a Disney princess, right? And I'm like, oh, I never thought of that. And she played it as that. She played it like a Disney princess. And it just came out in the film. To the point that in the premiere, after the movie was done, all of these kids were running up to her, wanting to get autographs and wanting to hug her. Sabi ko, ayan, ganap na Disney princess ka na nga talaga.
Direk, alam mo, you mentioned a while ago there was a challenge in terms of just the language even, especially with si Bossing. But I could only imagine that the rest of the cast also had that same challenge because it is different compared to siguro what we normally expect considering napakalalim ng Tagalog na ginagamit or the Filipino na ginagamit sa film. Can you tell us a bit about yung shared challenge na yon para sa grupo?
It was a challenge for everyone. Even before the actors came in, it was very challenging for the crew, for the staff. So even the technical department, we would have to kind of all sit down and make sure that we share the same language. It was very difficult because we had to strip the language of most of our parang foreign influences. And
Yeah.
that's when we realized how much of our language was based on Spanish, and how much of our language, even from of course American words and Japanese words, not just in language but in the culture of the country in the film. But see, Bossing, honestly, and he would be the first one to admit this. Bossing was the first one who had the hardest time. Because sabi nga niya, direct kasi sa comedy, isa, dalawang linya nang okay na eh. Matatawa na yung tao eh. But in drama, you guys go through paragraphs and paragraphs. Hindi ako sanay dito. So it would take him like literally days and days to just, memorize pages of dialogue. Pero ang ano talaga dito, the people were just so naturally parang bagay to this world was Piolo, who never, from the first time we read the script, he already kind of imbibed the world and his character. And si Sue, when she got the key of being the Disney princess, wala na. They were just so comfortable. Everyone was struggling except those two. Parang, I think you guys really belong in this world, sabi ko sa kanila.
Direk, you mentioned wanting to create a non-political film about politics, but family-centered. How were you able to achieve this through the Kingdom?
It was very important for us to be relevant, especially at the current climate of the Philippines, as you guys, of course, very much know that there's a lot of things happening politically in our country right now, even up to the upper echelons of government. And of course, it's going to be election year next year. So we're not in a vacuum. We know that this is going to be seen from a political perspective. Thank goodness, Bossing and I are very non-political people.
Okay.
We're surrounded by politicians, we're related to politicians, but we're not very political people.
Yeah.
And the way we're able to achieve this is to really focus on the characters. Because I think a political film really would focus on the principles of the politics behind it. But no, we focus on the people, on the characters. So at the end of the day, even with all the world building and the politics and the plot of the film, it really is about family. It is about a father, a flawed father at that, making the choice of his life, which is who will succeed him in being the head of the land.
Direk, you mentioned it a while ago. I love that word world building, especially when you look at the visuals, the costumes, the tattoos, and everything. My partner here, Mo, was looking at all the costumes a while ago, and she was like, I want all of them. And,
I do love Filipino, like local weaves and everything, so I'm obsessed. So kudos to you, Direct. The costumes were so beautiful. So I'm so curious, how did you develop the aesthetics of the film, and did you have any cultural references that influenced these choices? I mean, you mentioned
Yes,
the
actually-
tattoos kanina, you did. What about the
Yeah.
costumes?
I have to give all the credit to Nestor Abrena, our production designer. He did a lot of the
That's so
visual research for
I
that.
would dress like that.
He helped come up with the Bibles for it, especially the visual Bibles. So everything was very much researched, but it was half research on like, for example, textiles that we use, and we really did kind of import textiles from different places. Some of them actually, it was interesting. Nestor was telling us that some of the most like accurate textiles he had to source from other countries because we don't really produce them anymore. And some he got from faraway provinces, which are still woven to this day by hand. So there's a lot of that kind of genuine authenticity in the design that most people will never even catch. Most people will never even really appreciate. Just because, it looks good on screen, that's important. But for us, and especially for our production designer, Nestor, the authenticity of even the origins of the design, of the patterns.
Yeah.
Because some of these patterns are not doable by machine. So to this day, they do it by. That's why it's so limited, the amount of, for example, textiles they have for certain costumes. So it was that kind of passion for detail that kind of made everyone bagay to the project. Parang you're not gonna survive making the Kingdom if you're not 110% passionate about it.
Direk, we were talking to other directors at MMFF, and they're saying that the audience has changed in the MMFF. Parang umangat na yung, in terms of yung spending power because of the fact that it's a bit difficult, right? More expensive right now to watch movies. With the audience changing, would you feel that yung approach mo to filmmaking, especially The Kingdom in particular, has changed? Kasi napaka-unique yung premise. It's a very different story. All these top actors doing something that they haven't done in the past. Was this all a part of trying to adapt to this new audience as well?
Well, we started with the story. Whenever I make a movie or make any project, it all the seed is the story. If you have a good story, we try our best to make it, and then we kind of try to figure out if it's good for the audience. But I think it's a perfect storm right now because in terms of the relevance of what's happening in our country, a movie like The Kingdom is really landing on the perfect time when people will really get something from it. And it's relevant to what's happening to us right now. But other than that, I think a movie like The Kingdom may not exist a few years ago, or the audience may not be as receptive. For example, if they see Bossing, you have to make him make jokes. You have to make him lighter and all of that. Maybe the audience would not have been as open. But with the audience now, they're much more discerning. So one would be, yes, it's more expensive now to watch movies in the cinema, but it's also the fact that the audience is much more discerning because they're so exposed to streaming. So audiences are much more exposed now to Korean content, Korean movies, different genres, horror, love stories, and stuff like that. And the streaming platforms have kind of globalized, in a way, the taste of the Filipino audience. And that's why I think more than ever, the Filipino audience is ready and more open to something like The Kingdom.
Yeah, Direk, you mentioned that the audience is more discerning, right? So is there a key takeaway message or something that you want the audiences to glean when they watch your film? Because it's the first of its kind, and we're all really excited to watch it.
The most important thing for us, when I was talking to Piolo and Bossing and my co-producers about it, especially now that we are landing literally a few months away from elections, the most important thing for us to remember is watch the film and see what could have been. And, you know, when you compare, yeah, there may be some things that are different, some things are better in a monarchy, some things are worse. But at the end of the day, the film wants you to remember that we right now still live in a in a democracy, and you have the power to change your leaders. You have the power to choose who leads you. That's not the point. That's not the reality in a monarchy. In a monarchy, a single family or a single person decides your fate, decides how the culture of the land and the direction of the country. That is not true in the Philippines. In the Philippines, you have the power of the vote. So, and we hope that when people watch this, they remember that. They remember the pride of being Filipino and the power of the vote, and that we have our own capability to control our destiny and no one else.
The Kingdom is showing as part of the MMFF, going to cinemas all over the country. Of course, that will be on Christmas Day. That is tomorrow. Direct Mike, maraming salamat. Really appreciate your time and, of course, sharing all the insights about The Kingdom. A lot to really go through, pour through, especially when you watch it. It's going to be an alternate universe, alternate timeline, and we are really excited to really pour through it. Maraming salamat, Direct Michael Tuviera.
Thank you so much.
Now, guys, when we return, we're going to check out some Christmas movies that you can watch this Christmas Eve. So don't go away. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
This is The Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views.
I'm Anton Rojas.
UP crushes LaSalle to seize UAP basketball supremacy. NU dethrones UST to reclaim women's basketball glory. The Pinoy powerhouse squad topped and crushed the competition in Mobile Legends Bang Bang esports. The Bucks take down the Thunder in the NBA Cup victory. The Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport, on the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Hello, welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Now, Christmas in the Philippines would be incomplete without the songs of the one and only Jose Marichan. The OPM icon's hits like Christmas in Our Hearts remain a staple among Filipino households. In fact, the country rings in the Burr months with his songs to kickstart the world's longest Christmas celebration. Speaking on At the Forefront, JMC tells us what he thinks the spirit of Christmas truly means.
The blessings in life, and you know, every day of my life, I have the spirit of Christmas in me. And people have asked me, what is the spirit of Christmas? Even in your song, and may the spirit of Christmas be always in our hearts.
Correct.
The spirit of Christmas is giving and sharing. We who have been blessed should share our blessings with those in need. And there's so many out there in need.
And here's a snippet of Jose Marichan, Father Christmas, performing his timeless Christmas in Our Hearts.
Whenever I see girls and boys selling lanterns on the streets, I remember the child in the manger as he sleeps. Wherever there are people giving gifts, exchanging cards, I believe that Christmas is truly in their hearts.
Wow.
Catch Jose Marichan on At the Forefront with Ferdy Salvador on Christmas Day, December 25th at 8 a.m. only on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Oh, I'm so sad he didn't come here.
I
Happy for
know.
Ferdy, but I wish he also guested here.
I know, but I think he can't do mornings. That's what I heard. So that's why
Nag-record na lang siya.
nag-record na lang siya. But you know what? I remember hosting one of his mall shows. And while I was interviewing him on stage, he said that he doesn't really want to be called Father Christmas or the Father of Christmas, because he wants that to be, you know, God, Jesus,
Right.
right? He wants to be known as the Father of Philippine Christmas music. That's the title that he wants, actually. So not really Father Christmas,
I've been
but
calling
the
him Father Christmas.
Well, to be fair, he's kapag Burr months, like as early as September, lumalabas na siya.
No,
yeah.
my favorite is the meme where he like peeks like
Yeah,
this,
he
like it's Burma.
No, I mean, like he's just so iconic, and everyone loves him. And of course, I mean, like I don't even remember the first time he came into my consciousness. It's just like it feels like he's always was
He's
there.
just been there.
Oo.
I mean, even in the U.S., right? Like I grew up there, but he's still
Nasa
always
States din siya?
playing.
Oh
He's
my
still in the
goodness.
U.S., so I was like, he follows me everywhere. I mean, Pentatonics, they did a remix with Lea Salonga,
Oh,
actually.
yeah, they did,
So
yeah.
Father
okay.
Christmas of the Philippine music is worldwide.
You know,
Yeah.
I feel like Jose Marichan and Mariah Carey should meet up.
No, and Michael
Philippines
Bublé.
ex-USA.
Yes.
Oh my
And Michael
gosh.
Bublé. Michael Bublé.
And Michael Bublé.
Kasi
Yeah.
they're the top
The
two,
icons.
Jose Marichan song and
Yeah.
Mariah Carey's All I what's that?
All I Want for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, there.
That would be amazing. I would die.
Oh, you know what? I found out, I read an article last night that Mariah Carey, biglang shift to Mariah Carey, but anyway, yeah, she actually gets $3 million every
Yeah,
year
for her royalties,
song.
for
And
her
she
song.
doesn't even need to do anything. She
That's
just gets that,
why
gets that
we should
money.
definitely come up with a Christmas jingle.
You know what?
So
we
I
just
had for life.
need to push Jose Mariah Chan. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Jose
Let's
Mariah
do
Chan.
that.
We should make that happen.
Jose Mariah Chan. That's the
Mariah
best thing
Chan.
you've said.
I've said a lot of good things on this show.
But that's so good. Ang galing mo.
Anyway.
I'm so
That
proud.
should happen. Now, anyway, if you guys are staying in this Christmas Eve, whether with your loved ones, your friends, or by yourself, here are some classic movies that you can watch that will surely get the holiday cheer going. Let me see if my movie's on this list. First up, the classic Home Alone, a 1990 movie starring Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, and Daniel Stern, where an 8-year-old troublemaker mistakenly left home must defend himself against a pair of burglars on Christmas Eve.
Did you lock up?
Yeah.
Do we set the timers on the lights?
What else could we be forgetting?
our troubles will be ours.
Police in the northern suburbs are on the lookout for a pair of burglars who are calling themselves the Wet Bandits.
We know that you're in there.
It's Santa Claus and his elf.
And if you're up for a Nick Cage classic, this one might be right up your alley. In The Family Man, released in 2000, a fast-lane investment broker wakes up to a different life, with a sports car exchanged to a minivan and his girlfriend exchanged for a wife.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Campbell.
How'd you make out this year, Tony?
Oh, about $4,000 and a bottle of 25-year-old scotch from 9D.
Then.
I'm putting it all in commercial paper, like you said.
Good, but just until the Deutschmark turns.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell.
All right.
Now, this one's up for debate. Whether you could actually consider this a Christmas movie, Die Hard, a late 80s classic starred by Bruce Willis, I love him, is an action-packed movie where a New York City police officer tries to save his estranged wife and several others taken hostage by terrorists during a Christmas party in Los Angeles. Sounds like a Christmas movie to me.
Out of here or be carried out. But have no illusions, we are in charge.
Think, damn it, think.
We've got a fire alarm.
I thought I told all of you I want radio silence. Sorry, I didn't get that message. Mayday, terrorists have seized the Nakatomi Plaza.
That's it for us this Tuesday, December the 24th. Ako po si Paolo del Rosario. Thank you very much for spending Christmas Eve with us. Spend the Christmas Day with us tomorrow. We still have a few best of recordings for you guys, replays, and stories that you should also listen. So thank you very much. Have a very Merry Christmas.
And I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Before we go, let's say Merry, Merry Christmas to Doc Sai and Jan and everyone else there at Lift Clinic. My face is super ready for all the Christmas parties. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. And I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. And remember, wherever you go, spread love and cheer.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. We didn't get to see everybody in the control room. They're busy working all the cameras. But thank you, Direct, and everybody in the control room, our bosses and everybody here at Bilyonaryo channel for working so hard during the holidays. I'm Monique Tuzon. And Direct's gonna give us money, she just said on the override. So love it, Direct. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, we know who's gonna give money to get after the show. But anyway, like Will Ferrell said in Elf, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is to sing loud for all to hear. So, Anne, take it away. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
Let's
Christmas.
sing Merry Christmas.
Shalom.
And
That's why I said Anne.
All right, ladies
We'll
and
see you
gentlemen.
guys
All right. Thank you very much for watching.
Yes.
It's
only
oh my
on-
gosh.
What do you think? Every day is
A beautiful day!
day.
Ganyan talaga kung marunong prank.